If you are a registered professional engineer in Ontario or planning to apply to become one, this is something that you have to listen to. I am going to be talking about the Practice Evaluation and Knowledge Program, or the PEAK program by the PEO. Good day, everyone, and welcome to Immigrant in Canada. Like what I mentioned earlier, this is a discussion about the PEAK program by the PEO. So, to give you an idea what the PEAK program is, I'm going to be sharing you a couple of overview of when and how it started. The PEAK program pilot started in March 2017 to support the PEO's public interest mandate by helping to ensure that the license holders practice competently and ethically. Through this program, the license holders can also demonstrate their commitment to continually improve their engineering practice. And in April 2022, the Ontario Cabinet and PEO Council approved a regulation that took effect on January 1st, 2023, stipulating the continuing education and professional development requirements for license holders. So, who needs to do it starting this year? You are required to do it if you are a registered professional engineer or a limited license holder, and you should be able to do this on a calendar basis to maintain your license. And you are not required to do this if you are a provisional and temporary license holder or an engineering intern or basically EIT. If you have identified that you are required to do this, what are the things that you have to do? First is you have to do the practice evaluation. So this is a self-administered assessment. If you declared yourself as a practicing engineer, you should answer the questionnaire to be able to determine your personalized CPD target of up to 30 hours per year. If you then identified yourself as a non-practicing engineer, you just basically have to describe your non-practicing situation and perhaps the prospect of practicing again. And after doing that, the next step is for you to be able to complete the professional practice module. This is a self-paced learning module for all the person, both practicing and not practicing, that covers regulatory topics such as professional practice, engineering ethics, and regulatory processes. And the final step, which is only applicable for the practicing engineer, is to be able to respond to your personalized CPD target for the year. So you have to report your continuing professional development hours in the system. And in this slide, I am sharing with you the critical timelines that you need to know as a practicing person, wherein you must complete all these elements of the PEAK program every year. First, the PEAK program evaluation questionnaire that we talked about, you should complete that by January 31st, 2023. This is, again, the questionnaire that will help you evaluate and let you know how many CPD hours you need to complete for this full year of 2023. And the next one, both for practicing and non-practicing engineers, is to complete the professional practice module, again due on January 31st, 2023. These are basically modules that you have to listen to, and then there's a little bit of quiz at the end wherein you can learn about the professional practices and regulatory processes. Again, you have to complete this by the end of January 2023. And for those of you who needs to report your CPD activities, the final date of reporting for the year of 2023 is by the end of the year, December 31st. So you still have time to be able to complete that. Okay, so don't forget about this. The practice evaluation questionnaire and the professional practice module You need to complete them by January 31st, 2023, and then the CPD hours reporting is due by December 31st, 2023. Okay, now let's move on to the hands-on discussion wherein I can show you how to log in through your profile and where you can find the practice evaluation questionnaire as well as the professional practice module and the reporting for your CPDs. I'm just sharing with you a couple of links that will be helpful for that. So what you're seeing is the PEO website wherein the page is showing the information about the mandatory CPD program. What you have to do is just log in if you have already an account and log in through your portal here wherein you have to put in your username and password. Pretty sure you should have one already if you are already a registered engineer here in Ontario. And this is where you're going to be able to see the information about the PEAK program. Once you're in your PEO's online portal, you can see the PEAK tab over here. Click on that. And if you haven't started anything yet, you'll be able to see the button for the program this year. But since I already completed mine, what you can see here is to resume the program. So I'm just going to click that so that you'll have an idea how it looks like. And this is how the peak program interface would look like, wherein you will be able to see the things that you have to do. Again, you can see here the practice evaluation and the professional practice module that needs to be completed by the end of January. And then the due date for the continuing professional development reporting is by December 31st, 2023. I have completed the first two requirements. I'm just going to show you how it looks like. So you have to click the button, which would be begin if you haven't started anything yet. Click on that, and then you have to proceed on to the declaration page, wherein you have to let PEO know whether you are a practicing engineer or a non-practicing engineer. And then you can proceed with the peak evaluation questionnaire. This is where you can determine how many CPD hours you have to complete by this year of 2023. It is up to 30 hours, and you just have to answer 20 questions. And then at the end of that questionnaire, you'll have an idea how many hours you need to fulfill. I already did that, so I don't have to do it again. I'll just go back to the home page. And then the other one that you need to do, like what I mentioned, is the professional practice module. You just have to click on the button once again. You're going to see module 1, which is governance, ethics, and regulatory compliance. You just have to click the button once again, and you'll be able to see the different modules that you have to complete. So there are modules regarding code of ethics, regulatory compliance here, and an exam or a quiz that you have to do to verify whether you understood the modules that you just read. As you can see, I already completed all of those as well. And once you're done with that, you can report the CPD. As you can see in my records, I only need to do 14 hours for the entire year, so that's actually not so bad. And here are the learning categories that can be covered under your reporting hours. It can either be a formal education, informal education, or you contributing your knowledge. There are different learning objectives that can cover your reported hours. As you can see here, application of engineering knowledge, use of engineering tools, engineering management, engineering communications, and other protection of the public interest concerning professional engineering practice. You just have to add an activity. If you have anything to report, this is how it's gonna look like. And again, you have to complete the required hours that you have been given after completing the questionnaire, and you're good to go. I'm not going to report anything right now. And if you would like to see the overall status of your application, you can just click on this tab here, My Statuses, and it will provide you the summary of all the things that you have done so far. And for this year, what you still have to do or what you have completed. So that's basically it. It's quite user friendly, so feel free to start working on your practice evaluation and the professional practice module. Make sure you complete them by the end of this month, January 2023. And that is it for now. Thank you for listening. If you find that this video is helpful for you, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, do not forget to comment in the comment section below. Thank you once again and have a great day, everyone.